Hi, this is Jim, and I'm the New Hampshire Rock Guy, and we're out on another one of my mining adventures. Wow, look at this spar here. It's just falling out of the mine walls, and there's so much more to see. Let's go. Feel all 6 sides of the tourmaline crystal. What would be west into the Connecticut River Valley and the mountains of Vermont. World-class beryl crystals, both aquamarine and golden. If you look hard enough, you'll find something it's facing. Get ready for a fantastic journey of this incredible mine. Greetings. Thank you for tuning in to another one of Pecora's Mica Mine Schoolhouse productions. We're here today at Robinson Minerals with owner Doug Robinson. And thank you for having us, Doug.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate being here.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you've been an avid mineral collector for a long time. Can you tell us a little?
Yeah, about 30 years. Yeah, I joined the Mineralogical Society of Brattleboro, a small club, but real dedicated mineral collectors, and you know, I had a lot of fun. Gone out field collecting, did a lot of collecting in New Hampshire, New England. Went to Canada with a mineralogist buddy of mine, Dr. Peter Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
Went there a couple of times with him, and actually collected over in England with Pete Nielsen and another buddy of mine, Robert Clements.
So we've got a mix of minerals here, and I guess we'd like to just focus on some of the ones that you've either self-collected or are local to us. We're here in South Acworth, New Hampshire, the home of world-famous Beryl Mountain and a number of other localities, and hopefully we're going to get out later in this video to some smaller localities here in town. And you've got beautiful display cases in your shop. Your shop is available for folks to that are watching this to make contact with you and come by?
Yeah, it's open by appointment. I have to call. The phone number is area code 603-835-6825. We're almost always here, but you know, the shop is locked up when we're not home, and it's better to just call ahead and get together.
Well, I certainly have enjoyed the times that I have come, and I have made a number of different purchases both from you, both at the Rock Swap and here at your home shop, which is just spectacular. So if you'd like to tell us a little bit about any of the rocks that we have here in front of us that might be of
well, we've
interest.
got quite a few here that are from New Hampshire. This is a Sherrill from the French mine. It was a feldspar mica mine, and you got some nice black Sherrills and a schist matrix. This one's probably collected about 40 years ago.
Wow.
I didn't collect that one.
And just for folks at home that might not know, Sherrill is a tourmaline.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's in the tourmaline group.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different types of tourmaline in that entire group. So you've got the black Sherrills, you've got brown Dravites, you got pink lepidolites, red rubelites, that sort of thing. So
wow, a lot of different names.
Yeah, yeah.
And the French mine is one of the older mines that I believe we have. It was in operation in the late 1800s and into the early 1900s.
Yeah, like I said, most of them were operating for the feldspar or the mica. Sometimes the prices on one were better, so they would be mining primarily for feldspars. Went into ceramics, that sort of thing, and the mica went into such things as like stove windows. And during the World War II, it was one of the strategic minerals necessary for the war effort. Went into making things like spark plugs. As it was an insulator.
Yeah. And I also heard that it was the telephone mouthpiece, what converted our acoustic waves into electrical, was a sheet of mica in the early telephone handsets.
That makes sense.
Many different uses. Can we see that tourmaline there?
Yeah, this one's from Marlow, another one of the feldspar mica mines.
But we're focusing in, yes, on
this is the Sherrill Tourmaline, and you can see that in the center, running entirely through, is this other mineral, and that's pyrite. And that's
often called fool's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never knew you could get pyrite inside of a tourmaline crystal.
Yep, I was pretty fortunate when I was collecting there, and I collected a few things, some kind of cruddy tourmalines, and I went back, I guess it was the spring of one year, and there was a caved area about the size of this building, probably 16, 18, maybe 20 feet wide, and I don't know that it was much taller than the ceiling right here, but the ceiling had collapsed. So these big huge chunks of rock had fallen out of the ceiling. They were several feet thick. They were anywhere from 4 to 15 feet across.
And they exposed a lot of new rock that hadn't been there before.
Yep, exactly.
Is that so? That's where that piece had come from?
That's where that one had come from.
Well, that's. It's nice to be able to buy something that has history, and you can hear the history from somebody that has collected it. I always see something interesting here.
Yeah, these are also from that same mine. The micas, got some decent micas there.
Now this shows the crystalline shape of that mica likes to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of a diamond-shaped pattern.
But it's a couple of crystals intergrown with each other.
Well, this would be the actual crystal.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. That's not mica. That's quartz.
Yeah, that's a piece of quartz. And then this was also from that same mine. And this one's looks like it's in rough shape, but when you look at it in that position,
you've got this perfect crystalline shape there, right?
Yes.
It's a crystal within the crystal.
Yep.
And then what caused the hollow spot?
There's even stuff going on inside that one. So it's unusual. The tourmalines usually have a sort of rounded shape to them rather than just having really good 6 sides.
Mm-hmm.
And the 6 sides would indicate that it's either having been possibly a huge apatite crystal at one point, or maybe a beryl crystal.
And then it changes over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a metamorphic type, or ends up being metamorphic?
Well, it would be a pseudomorph.
Pseudomorph. Thank you for correcting me. That's a beautiful specimen.
That is, yeah.
Now, are all your specimens here for sale, or some are not?
Well, all of the specimens in the display cases are for sale.
Yep.
And I've got other business stock in the flats.
And you know just what's in every one, because every time I've come here and asked you for something, remember the Acton? I live in Westford, Massachusetts, and I asked about
the
I don't
Acton
know.
mat.
Yeah, Acton Mass Barrel, and
yeah,
you
that
pulled
Yuhas
it right out.
collected. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
How about this? Talking about beryl, you do have a crystal here from Beryl Mountain. I'm sure you have several.
Yeah, this one here is from Beryl Mountain, a nice matrix piece, and so it shows a lot of the pegmatite minerals. You've got lots of feldspar. You've got some micaceous stuff going on here. Over on this side, the darker stuff is quartz, and then you've got the beryl crystal right there.
Now, I don't recognize the term you said to this, micaceous.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
Mica.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that beryl crystal is not uniform in its size. Oh, but it has another beautiful piece of mica embedded in the side there. Is it there, or was up against it?
Probably a little of both.
A little of both, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, this was
very typical for our local beryl to be colored in the seafoam green, aquamarine color range. But there are other colors. I know Beryl Mountain had golden beryl, and
this is from Beryl Mountain. A little bit more typical of the color. You get that, like you say, sea green.
Now, is that a complete crystal, or was it halved over here, Doug?
It is complete, because on the one side if I can show the camera what we're looking at. You've got your crystal faces.
Faces there. I see 3 of them.
But
yeah.
the other side, it's lacking actual crystal faces, but this is where the beryl grew or crystallized against another mineral. And so that's a euhedral face. I mean, this actual crystal face. It's not broken or cleaved or anything.
What might cause there looks like banding in this, if I'm using the term correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I'm seeing? That almost like here?
Yeah, pretty much. So as the crystal, as the liquid is crystallizing and forming this beryl crystal, you have all of the molecules of beryllium aluminum silicates that are now coalescing to become the beryl.
Yeah.
And it picks up either impurities, or there might be some gases that are trapped in there that'll cause it to become opaque.
Give it that line effect?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then one of the, you talk of the other colors of beryl. This one in my personal collection is one of the golden beryls.
Here, bring it over here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Now what is this?
This is golden beryl, and this is from Beryl Mountain.
That is a big size crystal.
Yeah, that's I like that piece. That was out of the Johansen collection. He was a geologist and collected from the late 30s through the 1950s, 60s.
So this crystal would go back to that period. If it came from his collection, he collected it in that 30s. Yeah, this would
probably have been in the 30s or 40s. Yes.
That's neat to have a crystal that has a pedigree or lineage to it as well. There must be several like that in here.
So with this beryl here from Beryl Mountain, it was collected in 1965 by friends of mine, Gene and Margaret Nickerson. And I always try to keep that information with the specimen right on the labels. It gives a good provenance, and people know whose collection they came from, when they were collected. That's the back side.
That's beautiful. It's so clear over here in this area.
Yeah. From the Sunshine No. 1 mine in Hansenburg Mining District in Bingham, New Mexico. Calcite from Mexico, and these are stalactites. So they actually would have been growing something like that, where the solutions would have been dripping down and crystallizing.
Very unusual color. It's
yeah.
Not quite a red. It's almost like a salmon.
Yeah, and the bottom shows the typical calcite cleavage. This is malachite from the Congo. I don't know, it's about 4 or 5 pounds of copper mineralization, and it's got these nice, if you can see inside there, the malachite bubbles.
It almost looks like something that somebody told me about, a fibrous malachite. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful specimen.
This is a piece that I got from an older collection, a gentleman over in New York State, and there's several fossils, and
looks like somebody spilled paint.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's not much of anything on the back side. It's kind of a slate matrix, but this is a fossil jellyfish.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't think soft-bodied creatures could make a fossil. I thought they had to have like a shell or something.
Well, that's why this is pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so see, amazing.
And so not all of the minerals are from Earth. I do have a couple of pieces of meteorite These would be from outer space, and this was a meteor fall that took place in the far east end of Russia, and you go around with metal detectors, and they find them, and they
Boy, it feels just like a chunk of metal.
yeah.
I have in my hand a UV light, or ultraviolet. It's 365 nanometers, so that's called long wave, and it's exciting this mineral here. And when that mineral gets excited by this light, the electrons raise orbit, and they're releasing photons that we see as the difference in color. That's pretty dramatic. We see some orange in there, and also it's almost like a whitish blue.
Yeah. Looks like that could be a calcite or maybe chabazite.
Yep.
Shine on the big rocks.
This is sodalite from Mount St. Hilaire in Canada, and it's pretty famous for glowing this beautiful, beautiful orange versus a very light blue without the UV light. Ultraviolet minerals are in a whole nother class of collectibles, and as you can see, that whole case glows. And we're just looking to see if there's anything else in here that jumps out. Oh, there's something in the face of that one. See that jumping out?
Oh, it's probably cerussite.
Yeah, that one.
Some of the galena has pseudomorphed to cerussite.
If you say so. Getting beyond my expertise there, but that's why I like coming here, because I always learn something new.
So I don't know. This is the only other sodalite that I had.
Pretty intense. This is one of the. It's a very narrow beam, but it's one of the most powerful long wave black lights now in the world, and it's showing certain minerals. Do you have any kyanite?
Yeah, don't shine in my eyes.
Okay. Yeah, but if you can you see in here, Doug, and see the colors that it goes? No. I mean inside.
Yeah, I can see.
You can? All right.
Kind
Yeah,
of
boy,
orangey
there's
and
this real bright point there. Yeah, the orange. But it gets, yeah, that's cool.
yeah. Let me just set that there and then take a peek from the other side.
I've often wondered, the outside of this is really dark all the way around. Oh, look at that other color. Red level, red layer. Now, is that reflecting the color of this light, or is that
No.
that's fluorescent?
This piece doesn't fluoresce. I mean, doesn't phosphoresce, but that one has some good phosphorescence.
That's a great example of it, though.
Okay. So they have two specimens of willemite. This one here with the shortwave light has almost no phosphorescence, but this other piece, nice fluorescence, but when you remove the UV light, it continues to glow. And if it's really dark, it's probably still glowing.
So if you're in the area and you'd like to pay a visit, by all means, be sure to give Doug a call and set up an appointment. It's a fascinating place to come. And there's wonderful minerals here to buy of all different types at very reasonable prices.
There's a lot of other minerals that I've got here that are from various other places throughout the world. We've got some from New York State. Let's see, the gypsums from New Mexico, calcite from Chihuahua, Mexico. Really nice botryoidal malachite from the Congo. That's a real sweet piece.
That's a beautiful piece.
Let's see, there's some petrified wood on that very first shelf from Arizona, from California.
What are these perfectly shaped cubes here, Doug?
Those are the Pyrite Cubes from Navajoon, Spain.
Wow, they're so perfectly formed.
Yeah, people like to collect those. They're really real classic shapes, and those are all natural. They're not polished or
made to look that way.
Yeah.
And again, if I could say, you've got things there from $20 to $35, and very reasonable price points to have such a beautiful piece in your collection. So,
And there's some like petrified wood from Madagascar,
oh wow.
and some Strickland Quarry barrels. The Strickland Quarry, Connecticut.
Connecticut, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a Yuhas Mine. That's right here in town. What can you tell us about the Yuhas Mine? It was mostly a feldspar mine, I believe.
Yeah, mostly feldspar.
But it's a barrel that we're seeing.
And there was some barrel that came out of there, obviously. I've seen some yellows. And people really do prefer the blue color. It is a nice color. And those also were collected by Gene and Margaret Nickerson back in 65, 66.
And when you say collected, so in that, just as an example for our viewers, if somebody went out at that period of time, or even the last 10 or 15 years, they're going through most likely what's called the discard piles or grout piles. Is that?
Yeah, it's mostly would have mostly been dump material, stuff that, because these were mostly feldspar mica mines, and there wasn't any real commercial value to the barrel. It was nice for showcases, display cases. One of the largest barrels at the time was in the Vienna Museum, and that came from Beryl Mountain.
Yeah.
But it's
didn't that have a world record too?
It was a world record at the time. Yeah.
I think they held it for like 19 or 20 years.
Yeah. So it wasn't until the advent of the nuclear energy and atomic weaponry that beryllium had an economic value.
So that'd be like the late 30s, early 40s time frame.
Right,
Yep.
right. So collectors were collecting it just because of its color, its shape, its rarity. And then several of the local mines were opened up during the war effort for the beryl resources. And I know Jim has put together a really interesting talk on beryl and its uses to this day that we seldom or hardly know about.